All right, everybody. So today I wanted to touch on just the overall outlook of what we see coming on. Coming to us on this upcoming week, as well as talking about last week. What are some gems we could take from it? Kind of getting into price action in that realm, um, and also I want to hear from y'all. I'm gonna have y'all participate in something as well today, and I definitely want to see where everybody's knowledge is at because I might have something for y'all. I might have something for y'all. There's gonna be a whole lot of value between now and July, and of course just the rest of the year in general. But we just getting started, y'all. So first and foremost, what's a phrase that we say often in SMC? We say something called time and price. Time and price. Often people get on here and they talk price, 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 price. But y'all might have heard me say it 1,000 times, and you're gonna hear me say it 5,000 times more. Time and price, because the most important element to the market is not price, it's time. So what I mean by that, I'm not just talking about, enter trades at 10 a.m., enter trades at 2. No, you need to say, hey, what days are the best days to participate in? And oftentimes that comes from what? This right here, this economic calendar. So looking at this upcoming week right here, you see on Monday, there is no news. There are no news events to bring that energy to price action we need. So with our skill set, we know direction. We could always talk about price direction. Price direction is so easy to me. I can pretty much close my eyes and know where price is going. But when is price gonna go there? That's the catch, people. When? And when that is, you determine that using the economic calendar and say, oh, okay, so I believe price is going up this week. Most likely, we'll start that aggressive movement on CPI at 8:30. That's hypotheticals. I'm not saying I think price is going up. I'm just making an example. Okay, so make sure that you incorporate the news into your analysis. So CPI is 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday. So be careful on Monday. There's no news, and think about it from a market maker's perspective, or however you want to look at the market. Either way, even on just like outside of price action, don't you think they probably hold price somewhat in a range, not do nothing too crazy, because a very important news event is literally 24 hours later. So they will probably just hold price in a range until 8:30 on Tuesday. So I want you to be careful trading tomorrow on Monday. Don't get me wrong, things can happen. Things can happen, but that doesn't mean that we're talking probabilities. All we could do as traders is trade based on probabilities, and the probability is that the best price action will come at 8:30 or after 8:30, excuse me, on Tuesday. Please don't trade the CPI candle though. I wouldn't want y'all to do that to yourselves, man. We gonna be saying some prayers on here after that. All right, so as well as Wednesday, no news. So anytime there's no news, I want you to be careful. Sometimes when there's no news, it's just a continuation of what was going on the day before. So let's say CPI sent us like super bearish, for example, right? Then you might expect just simply continuation on Wednesday. So be careful of that too, or just keep your eyes out for that. And Thursday, we got retail sales at 8:30. We got PPI, producers, right? So we're looking at pretty much inflation on producers. That's going to be 8:30 on Thursday. Um, Always get an initial jobless claims. That's every Thursday. And consumer sentiment is decent at 10 a.m. on Friday, but like these numbers are cool, like industrial production, but it's nothing that's like super market like altering like that. You know what I mean? So the main draws to me is CPI on Tuesday, and Thursday I think retail sales is pretty important, as well as PPI. All right, so that's the outlook of the week. So you know which days to kind of expect things to deliver, and you want to kind of be careful before that. Now, getting into the actual price action. So I'll start with ES. Looking at what happened on Friday. So first of all, let's talk about the buildup. Look at this buildup. It got real choppy heading into this area, right? Real choppy price action. Price is not really moving super aggressively. Yeah, that sell-off was crazy, Sha. It definitely was. Definitely was. Intraday, like the day trade, when we go to probably like the 5-minute, y'all see what I mean if y'all missed it. But heading into it, this is the daily chart. You could tell we was gearing up for something. It's just about when will that deliver. All right, so now looking at this 5, y'all can see that definitely delivered on Friday. This is all Friday's price action. Starting at around 10:30 is kind of when that sell-off really got energy, real nice sell off for the people, man. Like if you caught it from the top, you know 192 coming all the way down, it's like 122. So that's like a 70. 70 points on ES, and that'll pay for your year. You know what I'm saying? Quit your job for the year, go on vacation. Nah, but for real though, man, like nice moves intraday. You could kind of tell the market was gearing up for something. So now what we do is we try to look at what's next. So for ES, for me, I don't want price to come back into this fair value gap. I don't want that to be revisited. If that gets revisited, I would start to get very shaky on price action. Now, if it gets revisited, it needs to really be super sensitive to it. I'm talking about touch it and die off. If we start trading higher into this fair value gap, we're gonna run out all-time highs again, in my opinion. Especially because the 4 hour didn't leave us one. So for me, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to trade to just about halfway into this wick at most. I don't really want price going up in here. I want price to kind of stay on the lower end before it sells off some more, because ES right now is not really convincing to the downside on the 4 hour. Now, NASDAQ to me is a little more convincing. I'll get to NASDAQ in a second, but to kind of reveal it, like, yeah, I do think we're going to the downside in the intermediate term, but people, listen, but we need more confirmation. So we're not full pointing yet, all right? Not full pointing yet, but I think we need a little more confirmation personally, including the fact that once again, the 4 hour didn't leave us no bearish fair value gap. You see, for people that want to know like fair value gaps, you would have needed, let's do this. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say that word fair value gap, I know, I got a mixed crowd in here. You see the low of this green candle. We would have needed to, Friday's candle, right? Well, this is a 4 hour, my fault. Okay, so the low of this green candle, the next candle that opens up needs to do this. It needs to open up and not touch that. So it needs to do exactly like that. And then guess what? We'll have a gap right in between them, and we can call that our fair value gap. So there's a gap between this top wick right here and the bottom wick of the green right there. Feel me? So this little area is the fair value gap. So look what actually happened. You see, we opened up, traded so high, we obviously touched the low of this green. We went even higher and all of that. And you could point to like an implied FVG if people know what I'm talking about and stuff, but I don't really trade that. So anyways, here we go. We're gonna I want to see if everybody got created in a 4 hour. That's a real good signature for a big bearish move to come. It doesn't have to be the first set of bearish candles. As you see, the first 3 candles we got on the bearish side right here didn't create a bearish fair value gap. It can happen after the fact, so we will see, but I need to see that start getting created to make this move a little more convincing for me. People who don't know fair value gaps, this is the example that I meant. Look at it on the 1 hour. You see the 1 hour, it gave it to you, right? This opened up, didn't touch the low it is. So we left one. I don't want that to be revisited though. I want us to continue to drop. We could chop around a little bit. You could do whatever you want to do over here, but you got to actually start trade it back to the downside and actually creating even more fair value gaps. Okay. Yep. So that's that. So that will keep me bearish on ES, especially we need to lose this area. This area price could definitely bounce here. Don't get me wrong. NASDAQ makes me feel it won't. But if we do lose this 4 hour bullish fair value gap, then I would definitely start looking towards these lows. So if we could lose this 4 hour one, yeah, which I do think price is going to lose it. I do think it will, but it's not about what I think. It's not about speculation. We need the confirmation by them candles at the end of the day. So I want to lose this, and then I will start targeting some lows personally. So that's for that, especially if we losing it with a fair value gap right on the other side, meaning a bearish fair value gap. So I'm eyeing that on ES. Now NASDAQ, let's go to NAS. Let's go to NAS. All right, so word. NAS to me is a lot more clear. It could use a little more confirmation, but it looks a lot more clear to me that We should be running this yellow line next, so 17,827.50. I'm on the micros. And the thing is, yo, for futures traders, by the way, please be careful, because we will be rolling contracts over this week. How do you know? I'm sorry to sidetrack, but I gotta say this to cover my bases here. How do you know when to roll contracts over? You could check out the volume on the different contracts. Actually, this is really important for me to say. I think a lot of people don't know this. So just give me a second. I'm gonna get back to the price action. I know that, but this is a quick 2 minutes to talk about future traders real quick, because this is very important for y'all. So peep game, right? First of all, peep game. It's gonna be real quick. Hear me out. Okay, beautiful people, peep this. Notice that NQ, these are the same tickets, people. This is NASDAQ. Notice NQ is at 18,297.25. All right. But the contract chart says 18,046. You're like, hold on, why are they different prices? Why is this one 046 and this one is 297? That's a big difference between the two tickers, as well as the fact that, look at the charts. Look how over here on this chart on the left, we didn't gap up. Notice we did gap up on the chart on the right, though. There's a whole gap up before that sell-off. So remember, you got to remember, look at the candle structure. We opened up on top of the red, y'all. We opened on top of the red. So imagine how that looks. That's because when contracts roll over, as they're doing this upcoming week, this is what we call the continuous chart. So NQ1, the continuous chart, has this like annoying glitch thing that it be doing that. I think if you press, no, it was B adjust. If you press like B adjust, it should go back. Yeah. So mess with the B adjust button to kind of get the continuous chart back normal. So press the B adjust button. All right. So that's for one. And hold up, let me see something. Oh yes, I want to keep set off. Okay, anyway, so be careful with that. Now, I don't trade off of the continuous chart. As you can see, I don't like dealing with this and stuff. I typically trade off of the contract chart on futures. I'm talking strictly to my futures traders. And so for people who trade the contract chart just like me, we will be rolling over this week. How do you know when to roll over? Like which day? Before the trading day starts, make sure you see which one has more volume. You could go to on the right on TradingView, it'll tell you, okay, 1.39 M right there. Okay, cool. So let me see what the other one got. MNQ, not H, it's gonna be M for June. We're moving over to June. So see how I'm pressing June. So 1.39 M versus what? Versus right now it's only at 52.18 thousand. See, the volume is different. So we still gonna mess with the March contracts, but just know this week these numbers will start to change, and there's gonna be more volume in the June contracts than the March ones. So then you'll know, okay, it's time to start charting on the June ones. Okay, when there's more volume in June, start charting on June and taking trades off of June. All right, but for right now, I'm sticking with March, and either way, you could just, instead of thinking about the price level, what I'm saying is, I think NASDAQ, now I'm back to price action, people. I think NASDAQ wants to lose the lows of March 5th. That's my first destination. And depending on how we lose these, then I would say we're going to come all the way down into this area on the weekly. So if we lose those lows I was talking about, give me a second. Let me get that level. That's 27.50, right? Let me make sure it's the same line. Yep. Okay. So if we lose this yellow line, in other words, you could say the low of the week we just had. If we lose the weekly lows that we just had, then I think NASDAQ will come into this area for potential bounces, which is, you can highlight the weekly red candle of January 2nd. That weekly candle. If we lose the lows of this week, I would think that price would make a move into the weekly red candle of January 2nd. All right. So look for the weekly lows of the week we just had. Price can't stagger into that though. Hear me very clearly, because the way we deliver into targets tells you everything you need to know about price action. We have to aggressively get to these targets. We have to aggressively make our way through it, like not just wick it, sweep it, and push up. No, I'm talking about it has to come through it hard, then I will start targeting much lower, because at that point, I think that we would just kill all of this and come to the downside. I'm not worried about anything here right now. All right. So be very careful with how we deliver through those targets. Now, getting there in the first place is important, because right now, this gave us a low reaction. I don't have expectations on this. I don't have expectations of this holding price to send us much higher. I don't. I think we're just getting a little reaction like we did, but I don't think that it's gonna accelerate past. I don't think that it's gonna, generate new highs. Bernie said, when you say lose the lows, what time frame should it lose those lows, or is it any time frame because it's fractal? Great question. Great question. So for me, right now, what I'm talking about right now is I'm talking about the daily chart. So I don't want to see the daily chart give us a wick and then a push up, or I need to get a solid daily closure under this and some continuation, as well as I want to see some daily fair value gaps. If I see daily fair value gaps to the downside, I would love that. I would even love it even more if we don't even revisit the fair value gap we create. So let's say that we have a move like this right now, for me, and we're able to create a fair value gap right here. So I'm hoping that you're following me, or anybody. I know some people might not know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to talk to everybody. Just picture a 3-candle pattern right here. The middle candle will be our fair value gap, right? Okay, that middle candle, I'm hoping, I would not want that to be revisited. Not before we at least I would probably want to at least run these lows before we ever revisit that. I would definitely at least come through here before we ever think about coming back into this. But I don't even want us to get revisited, period, to be honest. If we even run these lows, whatever fair value gap is created before that, this could be used. I would like that, and then a dip in the head. From here now, what I'm projecting is that we would get reactions here. This is way out into the future. There's so much that has to happen before I can make this type of prediction. But I would think that this is where we about to bounce out of to go back through the upside. But this is like super looking into there's so much that has to happen for me to make that type of projection. Including, we got to see what this week opens up like futures opens up in an hour and a half. Shoot, we might, we open up gapped up and prices up in the head. My whole analysis is over, and I would have a brand new analysis, because much like I was saying on ES, on NASDAQ, I don't want this to get revisited. All right, so same thing that got to happen on ES, got to happen on NAS right now, to where I don't want price coming into this fair value gap on the hourly. I need price to, you can chop around here all you want, do what you got to do, but I don't want us to touch that. I want us to continue moving to the downside. And if you do touch this, please be extra ridiculously sensitive. But if we come in here, I would be a lot more wary on where I see price going. I wouldn't have a bearish analysis. My bearish analysis, in other words, is based on, does ES and NASDAQ leave this blue area open? If they could leave the hourly fair value gap open, I lean bearishly. If they revisit it, I have no bias, and I need to wait for a little more information. Understand me? So let's be clear, everybody. As long as that stays open, I'm bearish. If it gets revisited, I need more information. Let's keep it very simple. For me, so that's the projection on those. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I really want to say on those right now. I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna show y'all something on NASDAQ in a little bit, but let's just keep talking about intermediate term projections. So, I guess I could talk about the Dow real quick. For the Dow, if y'all remember this last week, I was mentioning how, I think it was to y'all group, but either way, last week I was saying how, okay, we made these highs. Everybody made those highs. NASDAQ, ES, Dow Jones, everybody made those highs. Everybody dipped in. And then on this part right here, we saw NASDAQ and ES both make higher highs. They made their all-time highs. The Dow Jones is actually the one that didn't do that. So the Dow Jones made a lower high. And so that was something to watch out for. They were the weakest one, and they remain weak. But the delivery is not ideal. Understand, this delivery is not ideal in both directions. So first of all, I don't trade the Dow, thankfully, because this is dirt. But There's nothing really to be said here. Like, there's nothing that I like price going higher off of or lower off of, because, for example, let's say you were to highlight this fair value gap right here. Well, price didn't use it to make higher highs, so it didn't get used. But when it's invalidating it now, it's not creating bearish fair value gaps, right? It's not creating bearish ones either. So there's nothing to talk about here. So for me, that's not signs of downside either. So even when I look at my intermediate term analysis on NASDAQ and ES, once again, everybody has to give me more confirmation, because the Dow is not convincing bearishly, and NASDAQ and ES are giving me signs. For me, they're giving me good signs, but I need more. Yeah, I mean, the Dow could definitely trade, like looking at the Dow's weekly, it could definitely trade down. It looks like it wants to come down into this area, but it's too early to say. I think CPI on Tuesday could give us a lot more confirmation on projections. So Russell, y'all might remember me last week saying the initial objective on the Russell is to run these highs, and y'all seen that deliver. Why did I say that? It was based on seeing that the weekly is reacting off of this highly probable bullish fair value gap. It allowed us to run these highs. All right, smooth. What do we do after we run those highs though? And how are we getting to those highs? And this is what I mean by the how. How the heck is we coming out of a bullish fair value gap and not creating more? This is dirty. This is nasty PA. And so to me, it's not showing much excitement to the upside, which makes me think an upside move might not be necessarily ready. So the Russell gives me bearish vibes, but is there anything bearish occurring yet? Not necessarily. There's a buildup of sell side liquidity, but there's not bearish tools to necessarily take right now. We did sweep highs. Yes, we swept it, came down. So it's showing, like I said, good signs. But guess what? We didn't make a bearish fair value gap. See this 4 hour. Notice I'm back to the 4 hour. So oftentimes for intermediate term analysis, when I'm looking at, hey, where are we going over upcoming days / weeks, that's going to start with 4 hour fair value gaps. We ain't get that yet. So therefore, there's not enough information for me to say, oh yeah, we definitely bearish. Once again, NASDAQ, ES, Russell, it's got to stay open. I don't want us coming in here. We got to just start trading down. All right, we got to start trading down, and we got to trade down aggressively. So I wouldn't want that to get revisited. So that hourly fair value that we made on Friday, at the top of Friday, on all your indices, I would say to watch out for that. We don't want price going there. If it does, it got to be sensitive to it. Definitely not. If it's coming to the higher end, I would definitely start targeting the highs on all these tickets. And if we're going to run these highs, I would assume we're going to accelerate to run these highs. So for Russell, let's actually give a bullish scenario for Russell. Let's say that it's not time for the market correction yet. For Russell, if we come to the high side of this fair value gap, then you could take buys into, with the proper entry, of course. I would take buys into running out these highs. And if we run these highs out, I would start targeting these highs up here. 2137.1 be the high. And I'm getting that from the weekly highs right here, from the highs of March 2022 of the weekly chart. Okay. See, we've been in a crazy range here. Like, to be honest, on a weekly time frame, I would think that we would be running these highs next. But the delivery here is nasty. So it's not convincing on this price action. So remember, markets could correct. We could literally get a move like this, and it could still end up doing that same move. So we just got to see. We just literally got to see. Let me just double check the monthly for a second. Yeah, like even look at the monthly, I really would think those highs would be next. But the way that the daily is showing us, it's not supporting that notion. So we literally just need to watch the 4 hour to say, hey, are you ready to make a bearish move? Because if not, then I know where we're going. And you drop down to the 1 hour and we say, like I said, if price don't hold this, then we could start targeting those higher prices up in there. Understand? So that's the Russell. Let's go to CL. So CL is for oil. This would be strictly for futures traders, because everything else I said, NASDAQ, as y'all may know, I've said it 1,000 times, NASDAQ, I chart futures charts, I trade options with QQQ. I be on both at the same time. I'm gonna show you an example of that a little bit later. When it comes to ES, I chart ES, I trade spot on options. It's the same chart. You just get more information from a futures chart. All right, this is strictly a futures chart though. When it comes to oil. So just looking at oil right now, oil, I want y'all to please don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself, my people. Yo, look at oil right now, man. This ain't it. This ain't it, right? What are we doing on oil? When markets are in this stage, this accumulation stage, you need to protect capital. There's so many other tickers making moves to where you don't have to do this to yourself. And really, oil has been like this for quite some time. We've made some fire moves on oil. We caught this drop, we caught the rise, and we actually caught a little bit of a move into these highs, actually. But that's why it was set. I said CL target here because I had this target on CL since price was down in here. So we got the rally, then it consolidated for 55,000 days, and then we finally made that move that day. And then we consolidating again. So it didn't even like blast through those highs. It really just came through and came back down. But it didn't come back down aggressively enough to where I could target these lows. Because look, it ain't creating no fair value gaps and price is just chopping still. There's nothing to talk about here. So while markets are in this consolidated state, wait for a breakout. Oh my gosh, he's a breakout trader. Never in my life. Respectfully. I'm saying that a breakout will give you direction. It can give you direction in either way, because let's say we had put a box around this consolidation and we waiting for a breakout. All right, if it break out like this, how are we breaking out? If we breaking out staggered, I would think that this is just a manipulative move, and then I would actually start looking for price to accelerate back down hard. If we break out really bullish, I'm talking about bullish fair value gaps being created, I would take the pullback into one of those, and then I'll ride it higher. So either way, I'm gonna still be getting in on a pullback, or I'm gonna be getting in on some type of a sweep of these highs. So regardless, I need that breakout. The middle part, this stuff right here is nothing you should be risking capital on. Nothing. When you got, this is all time frames, by the way. I know I'm talking about the daily, but price is fractal, but this is all time frames. So boom, we just looking for that movement on CL. I'm not even worried about it. I wouldn't even want y'all to do it to yourselves. And an example of what I mean, for people who would say like, yo, how do you avoid chop? You know, how do you avoid chop? Well, let's look at how you could avoid chop. Let's look at how you could avoid chop real quick. I'm trying to see a good way I could demonstrate this for y'all. I don't know when not to participate in price action. I'm trying to see what I could paint an example off of. All right, let's use this little section right here. So imagine you seeing this. We ran the highs and we coming down bearish fair value gap. It's lit. Oh, it's a go. Once again, this is one I wouldn't even want to get revisited. You notice I got revisited, but it didn't actually bring us to new lows, right? Okay. But anyways, let's say you didn't know that, and you're like, yo, let's revisit this one. Cool. You use it to go lower, you make some money, and you think we about to kill these lows, come all the way down here, bet. And then price says, nope, we're not going lower. We up out of here. We start running back to the upside. You say, you know, it's cool. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to, I could ride the bullish sentiment. Let's go bullish. Let's go with the bullish sentiment. And you say, cool, hey, I see a bullish fair value gap here that I would like price to go higher off of. I bet. So you bullish now. You feel me? Because the bearish one didn't do nothing for you. Then they created a bullish one on the way up. So now you bullish. You like, oh, okay, I was wrong, but I'm gonna make money on the buy side. And then guess what? You get invalidated. So you telling me that I just lost money on a bearish tool, such as a bearish value gap, bearish order block, bearish whatever you use to take rejections on, resistance level, whatever you want to talk about. And then we have some valid bullish tools coming out, and I just lost money on the bullish tools too? Like, when you notice that, y'all, stay away. That means we in a range. That means you need to zoom out and say, okay, hold on. I see what's up. You know what? There's no edge for anybody, because that means bulls and bears just got clapped in the market. And therefore, this is what we call seek and destroy conditions. I shouldn't be a part of this. And at that point, you delete that, you back up, and you go to sign else. You go to sign else. And that's what we about to do right now. We're about to go to sign else. because they nothing to talk about when it comes to CL. So that's what when you peep that on any ticker, any time frame, any day where you have if you know what you're doing on the chart, of course, if you have a valid bullish POI, point of interest, and you have a valid bearish point of interest, and they both fail, you should stay away. Wait for some real movements. Okay. Probably the only other tick I wanted to bring up here is the dollar. So coming into the dollar, I had told my mentees that we want to create a SIBI right here or a fair value gap right here. We want to create that. So prior to this day, notice that the dollar was also in seeking short conditions. Then we finally get a nice movement under these lows. I said, all right, well, oh yeah, so this is a Wednesday candle. So no, was this phase 2. Either way, I had class on Wednesday night. Okay, Wednesday night. So I'm like, yo, tomorrow's candle, this is probably my phase 2 members. I was like, it needs to not touch the low of that. Right? Yeah, see? It can't touch the low of that. Remember I was talking about that with the other ticker? So the next day when we open up, do not trade to the low of that candle. So what happens? We do that, it created one. And I was saying, if we create one, then I would expect acceleration back below these lows, where this yellow line is at. Cool, it delivered, I bet. And then we got even more movement down, but then we closing higher. Copy. So we need to wait for more information on the dollar. Not wait for more information, rather, it's just, I'm gonna tell you what I want to hold. What I was about to say is that I think the dollar right now looks bearish, but notice that I showed bearish scenarios on ES and on NASDAQ. So this is another thing that kind of makes me stay put on ES and NASDAQ, is saying, hold on, the dollar is showing signs that it wants to go down, and typically they move inversely. So typically the dollar is going down, then you'll see ES, NASDAQ, the Dow, everybody's going up. How they both going down at the same time? Where they do that at? Now, technically, if you want to talk strictly about Friday's candle, you can see that the dollar ended up closing higher. So, and we saw ES and NASDAQ make their first drop off for real. So maybe you could say this is the beginning of the dollar starting to trade up. I mean, this is a what do you call it? Yeah, I don't care or trade candlestick patterns at all. It has nothing to do with my analysis. But I don't know what type of candle y'all. Ain't this like some type of a doji? Is it like a dragonfly doji? I forgot. That's way like earlier in my trading journey. I used to trade that type of stuff. Thank you. It's a dragonfly doji, and so maybe you might say, hey, this is the beginning of a move up. You feel me? So we'll see. I would like that to support my analysis on ES NASDAQ, because one, I want the market to go bearish personally. I want ES and NASDAQ to trade down because we have price levels to the left. We got POIs. We got a lot of liquidity to get. It's going to be a very nice move to the downside if it could go there. But so I would want the dollar to actually start making a move up. And if we get a nice, let's say we get a bullish candle on Monday, who could picture it? I'm gonna go to my chart pattern or my candlestick pattern traders. If we get a bullish candle right here, what candlestick pattern would y'all call that? Totally, my candlestick people. If y'all picture it with me. If Monday's candle is a big bullish candle, just like my arrow, what would y'all call that? Man, don't tell me y'all don't got the eyes for this. Don't do that. Where y'all at? There we go, Vic. Frank, Morningstar. Yup, TJ. Shooting star, Morningstar. That's what it was, the Morningstar. Yeah. So we got the Morningstar right here. So let's say we got a Morningstar on DXY after running out these lows. That'd be a solid move. Now for me on DXY, I'm looking at this right here is the point of contention. We just created a fair value gap here. Notice that, right? So for me on DXY, if we don't use this to go lower, then it's going to go higher. I wouldn't expect price to reject on this. It could happen. I don't expect it. Okay, so we'll watch what price is doing here. But if DXY does not use this to go lower right now, then I think DXY will start making a move back to the upside. A nice move back to the upside. So everything, just like how I talked about ES and NASDAQ, that hourly fair value gap, remember? A lot depends on this fair value gap right here on DXY's daily chart. DXY's daily chart. I'm looking at this one. I'm going to see what price want to do with it. Now, if we just leave it alone and keep going to the downside, it's answering our question. But between Monday and Tuesday, especially being that Tuesday is CPI, right? Because Monday could just be an inside day candle. We get no information. But CPI is Tuesday, so I'm sure CPI will either give us some crazy acceleration to the downside, or CPI will allow us to simply invalidate this whole entire fair value gap, and then we'll know what's up. Now, specifically, we need, if we want further movement to the downside, we need to trade in the lower part of this fair value gap, not the higher part. If we get a closure on the daily in the higher part, I would already start thinking that we're going to end up making a move up. Now, it could occur like this, though. I'm saying a lot on here. My mentees know I'm saying a lot on here, low key. But it could occur like this, though. Either way, if we come to the higher part of this, then I would think that we're not going to end up running these lows. We're probably going to end up moving higher. Okay? So we watching this very nearest fair value gap. Okay, and that's going to tell us a lot of information that we need as far as DXY. I hope that happens, because once again, if they traded higher, I would expect lower prices on NASDAQ and ES. So Monday is no news. Monday is a very defining day for us. Monday and Tuesday, being that Tuesday is a CPI day, those are defining days for us, because they'll tell us what we could expect out of this price action right in here, as well as the hourly fair value gap I talked about on ES and NASDAQ. Things of that nature. So any questions before I move on to the next segment? Questions, comments, anything? Questions, comments, anything? Come on, y'all. If y'all know me, y'all know I love questions. If y'all know me, y'all know I love engagement and stuff like that. I don't even want it to be no lecture. This is a community, it's family, it's love in here. Don't be shocked. Nah, I always answer my messages. I answer all my messages, so I'll definitely check that out after this for surely. Can I go over the chart debate? Kev, can I go to the chart debate? Do I want to go to the chart debate? I'm really trying to think, because I'm trying to think if that would make me say certain things that I would really want to only keep for my mentees. I'm just thinking how I could say it here. That's probably not. I mean, there's one thing I could say. I probably could say a little something. I got you, Lily. I got y'all. Hold on. I got y'all. What ticket was that again? It was the oh my god, so far. It was so far. So let me see something. Let's get it. All right. So for the chart debate, what I could say to y'all is you have to think about almost like price has an objective at all times. Feel me? If the goal of price is to run out these lows, okay, then first of all, you have to think, okay, if this is the goal, what could we go lower off of? What could we go lower off of to get there? And so you start looking at valid POIs in the price action to get you to that target. So the valid POI in the price action to get us to that target is really technically the lower half of this. So by the fact that price is already on the upper half of this, I already know where we're going at that point. This is no longer the objective. We might have thought it was the objective, but it wasn't. Hey, guess what got hit, by the way? Because y'all not hearing me. Y'all not hearing me. And I keep telling y'all this, man. Safest objective, lowest body. So for people who was in this move bearishly, right? They was probably in puts, swing puts, whatever they wanted to do. Hey, you ain't get to your last target and you mad, and you probably held the bag. Price came all up here. You took 10% instead of 1,000%. You mad. You could have locked in a lot of profits at the lowest body. I can't stress it enough. I cannot stress it enough. Anywho. So here we are. Now that's for one thing, as well as the fact of kind of how price is delivering under these lows. We're not delivering strongly under these lows. It's kind of telling you where it really want to go. So then the point of contention is the lower half of this, and not respecting this told you where we really going. The objective becomes higher. Now, people might have seen this and said, oh yeah, well, there's another fair value gap here. This is the one that's going to take us. And this is kind of what I mean with like, your one day, well, probably through my mentorship or whatever you do with your studies, learn which fair value guys to pay attention to and which ones not to, this was nothing I would ever be concerned with. So I know some people chose line 2 because they said, all right, even if this one don't work, we're gonna use this one to go down here. Nah, I wouldn't be looking for this to work at all. Actually, that's not one that I would expect price to go lower off of. All right, so that's how things actually played out. You knew where we was going after that. So we ended up running these highs for real. I was initially gonna put line 1 up here, but I was like, nah, let me put it right here because this one's gonna mess people up more. Y'all know I try to be evil. So that's that. That's your chart debate. You gotta think about objectives, and when you understand valid POIs and how price should be delivering to those POIs, it really gives you a lot of precision in your trading. Okay. You're very welcome, and cool. Thank you, Vincent. Appreciate you. Okay, so that's that. Now we talk about that. Next segment, I'll take a few tickets real quick, and I'm gonna do one other thing and we done. So I'm gonna take a few tickets. Any ticket requests y'all want me to go over? Tesla, I bet that's the first one. I'll do test. Meta, copy that. And Apple came next first, but I probably still sneak in AMD, but that's it though. Yeah, I can't do all of those, y'all. I'm sorry. Just on a time basis, I'll try to do first come, first serve in a sense. But let's do Tesla first. So you gotta love Tessie Test, man. You gotta love Tessie Test. So let's see what we can say here. This is actually similar to what we was talking about. This one being the point of contention. This is the defining moment for Tesla. If we could close above this, then I would definitely start looking for much higher prices on Tesla. Rejecting this was just, it's almost like I just like, yo, rest in peace at that point when I see this rejected. It's not looking too hot. But there's still hope. My people that want Tesla to go up, there's still hope. It's about what we can do with these lows that we at right now, these weekly lows, because there's still a chance that Tesla could make a move. Like my bad, I pressed the wrong tool. Like we could just be sweeping these lows to come higher. So next week's I would only really mess with Tesla as far as on sentiment, or excuse me, I would only determine my sentiment on Tesla based on the weekly right now, because the next week's candle is very important. If next week is a green week for Tesla coming up into this range, then I think Tesla will make a nice move coming back to the upside in the intermediate term. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, and this could happen on Monday, right? On Monday, for example, Tesla can trade up. That's fine. But the rest of the week, it needs to close much lower than this, because I need to create a weekly bearish value gap. I need to create that right now in Tesla. We swept these lows. Notice that we swept them, and look where the bodies ended at. Right? The bodies closed above that wick. Okay? So right now, it's very important for Tesla to show us that it's not just a sweep. It needs to prove to us that it's actually we need to aggressively move past these lows. And then at that point, if Tesla can do that, then I would start targeting, hey, you could be very conservative on Tessie Test and say, hey, let's take the lowest body. Not bad. Lowest body it is weekly. Definitely not a bad target, especially because there is definitely a chance that price could bounce within this wick. This wick area will be hard for Tesla to get through, in my opinion. I'm not saying it won't. I'm saying that you could definitely have some turbulence here, even if it's just something like this. But this move up out of here could shake a lot of people's plays up. So I say if Tesla does get that aggressive move to the downside, I would start looking at the lowest body in this weekly range. Let's see what the daily look like, if it could support that notion. Yeah, I would probably say that same thing on the daily and on the monthly. On a monthly, yo, I don't want this to get revisited. I mean, it's kind of a far away from now, but you see this little gap, that little gap right here, I don't want that to get revisited before we kill these lows. So we should never come back up here before we run those lows on Tessie Test. All right, so I'll keep my eyes open on that. So the goal this week on Tesla is If we trade up, it needs to not go high into this area. Now, let's see where we could possibly trade up into. If we do start the week bullishly on Tesla, where's our point of contention? So let's go. That is the high of the up. Bro, I be pressing these tools, they don't get pressed. That's the high of the previous week. Let's see what we look like on the daily. So that's all the way up there. All right, so for me on this daily, bro, that's a break. Yeah, for me on this weekly, bro, we gotta hold this. We really gotta hold this. Lower half of this specifically. Definitely. I don't want us coming to the high. We need a lower half of this for me to think that we may start moving down. Now we come into here, we inputs. No, stop it. We need confirmation. So let's say we trade up into here. Let's say it's the hourly or something like that. Especially because we're basing this on weekly projections. It's like we could trade up in here. We need to see movements with bearish fair value gaps out of this area on the 4 hour, maybe the 1 hour. If you know what you're doing, you could look for the 1 hour, but it needs to be aggressive moves out of this area. So this is my scenario. If we start the week bullishly on Tesla, I need to see what Tesla does in this little area before we can trade down. Now, if we just keep dumping, we know what's up. It's telling us what we need to see. Like, I would love, if I'm bearish on Tesla, right? I would love if we could just open up and keep coming down. So we're just painting scenarios. Like if we start the week high, be careful of either chopping here before moving down or simply coming into this area, holding the lower half, and then making the move down. Now we know the other scenario is, now if I'm gonna draw all 3 arrows, we know this one. Let's draw the chop one before we make a move down. And then the bullish scenario is if Tesla simply gets a closure above this area, then I would think that Tesla's actually gonna make a stronger move to the upside. So we have to look at what we do with this blue area to me on Tesla for me to kind of be convinced. Because once again, if Tesla touches this yellow line this week, then I would think that Tesla's next draw is to move above these highs. So I'm looking at the weekly chart. As you can see, you have to now visualize the bullish scenario with me, right? The bullish scenario is if price opens up and turns green. This is a weekly candle. I hope y'all following. I know I could talk fast as in New York, but listen, if this is the weekly candle, we moving up. It's up here, bro. Just think what we looking at. The weekly looks like this at first, but we didn't even make a bearish fair value gap after running out these lows. We swept them. All right, then you know Tesla's most likely coming to these highs. All right, and so now you have a new target for yourself. So everything is about what we do in that middle area here on the daily. I say this part is something Tesla could reject on. So it's about how we trade. We either don't touch it and keep dying, we touch it and reject, or if we don't use it, we go into the highs. 3 scenarios. Let the lower time frames confirm it for you. All right. Hope that's clear. Hope that is clear. So when I do watch lists, for those that don't know me, I'm not like other, people that pretty much be like, yo, if Tesla loses 205, it's going to 207. It's not that simple, and trading is never that simple, because you have to know, 1, what price retraces for, 2, what price typically tries to target, and 3, the manner in which price is heading to those levels. So even if I said, yo, if Tesla loses 191, it's going to 203, yo, it's about how it's losing 191. Is it losing 191 with bullish fair value, guys? Then I'll be like, yeah, it's probably going there. But if it staggers into this mad ugly, then I might say, you know what, we might be in seek and destroy conditions on Tesla, because it could end up doing this and then break down 3 weeks from now. So it really depends on how price is delivering to these specific areas. So you need a little more detail in a watch list. So that's typically how I do my watch list, and we draw scenarios and we know how to trade any one of those scenarios. So money will be made regardless. Whether Tesla go up or down, you should be confident in the fact that you can make money in either scenario. All right. So let's test. Let's go with, I think Meta was next. These all-time highs. I forgot what this was. I feel like I know what that is, but I'm not gonna say that. I think I was like, Meta may target this 535 area, but I kind of forgot how I got there. I don't want to draw how I get my targets right now. I would say that, I mean, we're at all-time highs on Meta. We're at all-time highs. If Meta doesn't hold if Meta doesn't hold this for higher, then I could see Meta coming back into this lows at 489. So if Meta don't hold this area, in other words, if we could get a daily closure under 497, a daily closure under 497 will have me targeting Meta. I'll say let's go safe target is 490. If I get a daily closure under 497, I think Meta goes to 490. If price holds this and you start seeing on the, let's say the hourly, you start, like right now it's holding it, right? So if you start seeing on the hourly bullish fair value gaps higher, then I would say we're gonna run all-time highs again. All right, so that'll tell us a lot about Meta. Same thing with this hourly bearish fair value gap. What are we gonna do here? That'll tell us everything we need to know. I would want Meta to reject here to move lower. If Meta closes above this, then Meta should be running these highs next. So for Meta, it's about this area right here. Unless we obviously, like I said, just continue to dive. We could gap down, anything could happen. So it's all about this area right here for Meta, for me. Yeah. But price definitely looks real iffy on a lot of time frames, but a lot of tickets rather, but right now, y'all, there needs to be a little more confirmation. We in a bull market and price just keeps pushing up and up and up. So it's like you can't just we get a quick red reaction on a Friday on NFP don't mean the market is ready for that type of move, that down move yet. You gotta really wait for confirmation right now on down moves, and otherwise you gotta keep trying out bullish POIs. Like I said, right here, this is a highly probable. If we're still bullish, this will work. It's really that simple. If we're still bullish, this will work. All right, so that's what it's all about. Let's go at Apple. Let's go at Apple. I was doing a lot of write-up on Apple, man. All right, so it's all about what Apple does with this area. We got to the target already, riding Apple to the downside. We got to the target. Now we need to see what Apple want to do. I ain't gonna front. Apple doesn't look good to me for upside, but we need more confirmation. So for me, what I would not want to see is, I wouldn't want to see, Apple got to hold this area to go down. The area we pretty much in, it has to hold that to go down. So for me, if Apple gets a closure above 175, I would think that Apple's going to start making a nice bullish move above these highs here at 185 and even higher. So a lot to me on Apple depends on if we could hold this area, because if we could hold this blue area, especially if you start seeing bearish fair value gaps come out of the blue area, then I would think that Apple is going to run 165. And honestly, if we run 165 with some nice energy, like with aggressively, like it's like down here, it looks bad, bro. Apple, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Apple don't look good, bro. If it do that, my next draw Apple would be probably coming into this area here at 159ish, and that doesn't mean that I think it's gonna bounce there either. That's just the next spot I have it going. But yeah, we gotta see what Apple do in the next few days. So yep, that's Apple. I think I said I might just do AMD real quick, and then I gotta move on. All right, so AMD's lead, same vibes, man. All-time highs. So you gotta ride that uptrend until it can't. It's not an uptrend no more. You know what I mean? Until it's giving you signs that it want to come down. So our first line of defense is, can AMD hold this? My bad. Can AMD hold this area? So if you don't know how I'm drawing the area, it's okay. I would say almost like look at what it does for Friday's lows. If we lose Friday's lows, all right, that's how you can think of it in your head. If we lose Friday's lows on AMD, then I would think AMD would probably come down into these areas, kind of revisiting this consolidation. I would see us revisit consolidation. If we don't quite get there, then I will watch this green candle. All right, I would think if we lose this area on AMD, I would see it coming down at least into this green candle. Then maybe it could go higher off of that, but we'll probably come to this green candle for sure if we could lose this overall area. That's what I see on AMD's lead. All right, so we watching that, and let's just look at the lower time frames for a second. Same thing, you know, the 4 hour hasn't proved anything to us yet. What I can see happening is, let's say even Monday, I could see Monday revisiting this before going lower. And what I'm saying is this wick is imbalanced. So I can almost see us cleaning this up a little bit first. And don't gotta trade. I don't want it trading high into it. If we go above 50% of it, then I would think we're gonna make all-time highs. So as we can stay on the lower end of this, that's cool, but it needs to hit it and die. Like, it can't spend long up here. It can't consolidate up here. It needs to, like, if it go up first, it need to come down hard right after. Yeah. And then we can start looking to get involved once we see fair value gaps. Once we see fair value gaps created, you can look to get involved. All right. So that's AMD's. And then let's move on real quick. Sorry for the rush, but I told you I got, yeah, no problem, shot. I told you I have a baby shower to get to. So no, it's not my baby shower, okay? Just relax. I ain't no kids. Just relax. Imagine I chartered before my own baby shower. Real dedication. Now that'd be crazy. All right, so thanks, man. I'm wilding. Before I actually do that, I wanted to show y'all that before I go to that right quick. So very last thing we doing is this. Very last thing we doing is this. So heading into the day on Friday. Y'all might remember from the chat, I've been saying, yo, we gonna have a run up past all-time highs from back when price was down here, this, that, and the third. I just remember something else. Okay, hold on. Let me think real quick. I'm sorry. Let me think on the fly. I might push past this really quickly, faster than I wanted to, because I really want to get to something. I'm trying to finish this by like 5:30. Okay, so we're gonna see how we do on time. All right, so remember, we were looking for a run up past all-time highs. This dip right here, this dip was accepted. My mentees know why this dip needed to happen in price action. This dip was extremely necessary. So some people got shaken out because y'all might have rode this move on Thursday, the big move up that we was talking about. And then guess what? Look at where this happened. 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock, price dumped. This is the hourly chart. Price dumped after 4 o'clock. People are like, oh, nah, I thought we was bullish. This was extremely necessary to happen, actually, in order to make this a healthy move. Now that it did that, I never shook out my positions. I literally sent a screenshot to my mentees. I said, all right, perfect. Now we're going to be able to take all-time highs. That's what we needed. And then as I told them, and I told you guys as well, after all-time highs, I'm expecting a move right back down very hard into this range. I didn't say staggered. I said an aggressive move into the range for a reason. Okay, so here we are. Let's mark that up. Well, no, I'm not. I just want to give you the analysis as to what we're looking for is a move above all-time highs and then a hard move back down. So that's the plan heading into the day. Now, these are the all-time highs. And so what was this? Friday, 8:30. We got NFP news. Guess what? It helps us deliver into all-time. We didn't get there yet. I'm gonna show you in a second. We end up taking all-time highs, but like, do we care about news on direction? News don't give us direction. We know direction before the news happens. News just allows it. And news is just a time when it'll happen. So everybody else thinks that like, yo, you can't predict the news. I don't know where price is gonna go. No. We be knowing where price is gonna go. It's just a matter of if we know where price is gonna go, but it's a matter of when it's gonna go there. Give me 1 second. Let me open the door. All right, so we know where price is gonna go. So boom. At this point, we're looking to take these all-time highs. And so we're looking for that move because we came so close after NFP, but we didn't quite do it. We would never, ever come this close to these all-time highs and not take them. I'm gonna say that right now, because even if we were gonna start a bearish move, by the way, this is how I was so convinced we was gonna go back up. If we were really gonna start a bearish move, I promise you, we would have to run out these all-time highs first. Ain't gonna be no double top. No, it's not gonna happen. We're gonna have to run the highs first before we actually come on down. Copy. So at this point, it's all about bullish entries. This is 928. This is 929. Okay. This is 9:30. Okay, so here we are. Boom. This is my entry. I get in right here. Why? Because this is also a bullish OB. It's also a bullish OB. We finally tag into it after sweeping these lows. Let's know though that we didn't actually touch this OB right here. See how we came so close, but we didn't actually touch it. And then we did this time. All right, so boom. I'm in the play here at 9:31. I'm in the play. Price is running up. And then at 9:30, hold up, because I went break even. Hold on. That's not the play that I made the money on here. They said, I go break even. Cool. Tough. Price not ready yet. I'm like, hold on. I don't like that because we were really supposed to take off from there. Now I noticed that we swept this again. But it's not clear. I need something that's telling me we're really ready to run. But then I'm like, okay, at this point, I would start talking to these highs typically. I would start talking to these highs based on where price is sitting at. So, but you know what? Let me be careful because price is not moving ideal right now. It's really early in the day. It's the opening range, 9:44, 9:45. Then this comes out at 9:45, which is a time when you can see movement coming to the market is in those 5-minute intervals. So like 9:45, for example, is a time where you'll see a lot of volume coming to the market, especially being that it's also the opening of a new 15-minute candle. All right, so boom, I get into play. Again, let's just say two cons. Let's just do this together. I'm in the play right here because I know we're gonna run out these highs, and if we run out these highs, we definitely gonna be running out all-time highs after that. Price just had to move around a little bit, but when price was in this little range, I had actually told my mentees, I said, just because, and like I said, NFP's first reaction was bullish. All-time highs look highly probable. Well, then watch for what comes after we run all-time highs, which is the plan, right? To run it and then come down. And I said, just because you know at 9:42, just because you know it's going to run all-time highs doesn't mean the day trade on the way there is going to be pretty. If you peep seek and destroy conditions, right? Choppy price action, be patient. I'm telling this to all y'all and wait for price to show real setups. I said I'm cash currently at 9:42. All right, and then I noticed that ES is moving smoother than NQ, so I'm like, okay, ES is showing some nice movement up to the upside. And that was at 9:44, right? So once I seen ES doing that, I was like, oh, hold on. And then I seen this come out on Nasdaq at 9:45. I was like, okay, I think it's ready. Boom. So that's why I hopped in at 9:45. Okay, now price makes its way through the all-time highs, and then right here, no. I'm riding this, but I'm like, you know what? What did I say? The goal is to run it and then come on hard to the downside. So when I see this candle come out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my profit. All right, so cool. Out of that one, I got like a good 40 points. So cool. We already in 40 points on NAS, and at this point, I'm waiting for more information. All right, so where it's at? There's nothing to get in here. So first of all, it's annoying because I'm like, dang. I thought he was going to sweep it and come down. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like this movement anyways. We're it might not be clear to everybody, but we're staggering into these highs. You can see it kind of looking at the wicks. This is not a clean move, and that's not typically how we would want to take all-time highs. And then on top of that, we're building up a lot of sell side in here. So here we are. That's not 1021. Notice we built all this up. What I mean by sell side, we built up a lot of stop losses. So look, what I mean is this. I know I got to talk to different types of people in here. Anybody who went long on this dip, they never got stopped out yet. So we consolidated, we just ran out people on the upside. So there's people who had puts or who got in sells right here. And when price dipped, where they put their stop loss at the highs, right? So if you got in sells right here, your stop loss during this down move is at the highs typically, right? That's how people would do it. Copy. So what did the price do? Stop those people out. Guess who didn't get stopped out though? The people who are using this wick. Let's use this wick. People who are using this wick as a stop loss, they never got stopped out. So I'm noticing that. Now, at 10:30, this is when I entered my play. My people, I literally Yo, I was telling phase two this. I got in at 18,429. I literally got in at the high of the day, bro. You think I held that the whole time? No, I didn't. I would be a trillionaire if I did. I ain't hold this the whole time, but it's just funny to me because I dead got in at the high of the day. Why did I get in at 10:30? Can't reveal that. I told phase two why. They know why, because this is a setup we talk about, and it has to do with a time segment. Okay. So based on a certain time, everything, remember time and price, right? There's some elements to time in this algorithm that a lot of people don't know about. But based on a certain time segment, I took my chances. I said, yo, I'm trusting my analysis. I'm expecting a sweep. If that sweep will come, it'll probably come at the time that I'm trying to do it. Copy. And once again, what did I say? We left these stop losses wide open. These people are still protected. Let's go kill them real quick. So my first objective is just literally to kill them people in them stops. All right, so boom, price don't make us move down. Beautiful, everything's happening. I love it. I'm like, oh, this is going well. I love this. This is going good. Now I'm in the play, and I say this. I say, yo, we are in an uptrend. We in a bull market. Every dip so far in this market has gotten bought up. I know I caught a nice move, right? But at the same time, and altogether, this down move that I had gotten was 50 points. So first of all, I already caught like 40 on the upside. I got like 50 on the downside just now. So I'm doing good. My day is going well. And I'm saying, hold on. This is why you need to scan time frames. Because one thing I know is we just came into a, why'd I draw this? I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna delete that. I think this was when I was giving y'all the intermediate term projections. And this is the other thing. So let's delete those. We don't need those. We don't need this. All right, so boom. Let's do it. So we have a bullish order block. Would you look at that? We have a bullish order block. And so for me, I do believe that this bullish order block is going to get traded through. It's going to get traded through. But who cares about my belief? I need to let price action prove it. So I'm here. I'm in a profitable play right now. And so for me, things are going well. I got nothing to talk about. There's nothing that's going on here. For me, I'm like, you know what? At this point in price action, as long as we don't come right here, as long as we don't revisit this fair value gap, I'm good. I'm holding my trade because if price revisited this, I'm getting out. So once again, there's a skill set that we'll talk about in upcoming classes eventually on knowing which fair value gaps you want to stay open, which ones you want to be revisited, how you want us to be revisited, which ones to pay attention to. This is one that I don't want price to touch if I'm bearish. No. All right, so we come on down. Things are looking good, man. I'm like, oh, it's lit. I done caught the top of price action. I'm up. I'm up ski, everything Gucci. Now, why the heck is price coming back into this? It needs to leave this range hard. This is a big point of contention right here. What's going on? We start moving up, but we start rejecting. So I'm like, all right, I'm safe. And then lo and behold, once we started revisiting higher again, and then this candle came out right here, I took my position out. So I know we're supposed to sweep and come down hard, but we're in an uptrend. This blue area is a very valid bullish OB. Now let's be specific. And people who went to my order blocks masterclass may know why I say what I say, but there's a very specific part of the order block that I'm expecting to hold. And it's not about it being above 50%. It's deeper than that. But I'm not even gonna speak to that. We're still in that part of the order block. So seeing that part of the order block deliver higher prices at first, maybe say, you know what? Maybe we still bullish, and maybe I was wrong about price sweeping the all-time highs. So that's why I took my profits right there. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna just lock in my little 50 points or whatever. We could wait to see what happens next. But then literally right after I sold, price started dumping again. And so at this point, I had to re-enter the play because once we lost that part of the order block, I knew he was dead. I didn't need to see. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. A lot of y'all don't know this about order blocks. Hear me out about order blocks real quick. A lot of y'all think that order blocks are just the last candle before the move up. And that's incorrect teaching. Hear me very clearly when I say that's incorrect teaching. It's not. It's the consecutive down close candles before that move up. And it's not just any move up. These move ups have to do certain things. There's criteria that needs to be met, things of that nature. And then there's also highly probable order blocks versus low probable order blocks. And there's order blocks that have to meet a certain level of criteria that you wouldn't expect other ones to meet. So there's nuance to these things, and this is why I keep honing in on the fact that a lot of people try to learn smart money from different sources, and that's cool. I'm just saying to be careful, because no one talks about the nuances in these tools, order blocks, fair value gaps, liquidity, all these things. You have to know when price is going for what. So I don't know if y'all peeped in the chat earlier. Somebody was talking about, well, I saw liquidity down here. I saw a fair value gap there. I'm like, okay, there's fair value gap over there, and there's liquidity over there. So how you know we're not going for that one or that one? You feel me? Like, no one really has answers for those. I mean, we have answers at BTSMC, but a lot of people don't have answers for those questions. But those are the most important things to know. You know what I mean? Those are and you don't really find those answers on YouTube a lot of the time. And it's frustrating for me as an educator, because I watch people make content on Instagram, YouTube, and stuff, and I'm like, y'all cherry picking examples. Like, y'all gonna show us, let's say this, y'all gonna show us this fair value gap, right? You see this blue one, or that green one, or whatever? Oh, price used this. Look, the body's held it, we ran higher. Why are you not telling me why price didn't use this one? See? Look at this bullish fair value gap. It just got closed under. No, what? So you gonna show me this example of it using to go higher, but you're not gonna show me the example of it failing? How you know which one is gonna work, which one's not? That nuance is not taught enough, and it's frustrating to me. But anywho, so same thing with order blocks. Now that I know, I'm like, once we lost a certain part of the order block, I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about any other part of the order block. We're going to these lows. So at this point, for me, it's just about finding another entry. And my entry was at 11.14. My entry was at 11.14. Why? The stab into this fair value gap. So this right here is extremely highly probable for me. Specifically, it needs to be sensitive to it as it was. So once again, it's a certain level of delivery. How we want price to deliver, yeah, it needs to be sensitive to this. And so yes, price delivered under. I was able to hold this one. Able to hold this one for a little lower, and to running out this sell side. Cool, looking good, right? Where that sell side came from, these lows down here. Beautiful. What a nice move. Cool. After price meets an objective, see these lows, very important lows, right? After price meets an objective, especially when it's a straight line move down, pretty much a straight line move down, you need to be careful of price making a deeper retracement, because it just met a very important objective. It's 11.30. You need to be careful of price making a deep retracement. So for me, I'm saying, hey, if price really wants lower, we really need to pretty much hold this area. And I could even give it room for the 5-minute hold in this area, but that's much less probable to me. So let's stay on the one. It's really about this. So once I see us close high here, I'm already out. I got out my trade right in here. And because when I talk about sensitivity, first of all, it didn't hold it because we closed above it, but also it would have needed to be sensitive to this fair value gap as well. I know I'm talking over some people because they're different. I have to talk to everybody. I just want to remind you that some people know what I'm talking about when I say, yo, it needs to be sensitive, others don't. But I got to talk to everybody. And so that's why I'll get out my trade. Because for me, and this is how you hold trades. Hear me clearly. This is how you hold trades. As long as your bearish tools are working, you should remain bearish. Once your bearish tools stop working and your bullish tools start working, then at that point, you should probably think we're bullish or we're just going to have a deeper retracement. And so you should think about taking profits. So for me, typically when this happens, you can expect a deeper move into like the range somewhere up in here. And we might still come on down, but you just need to be careful. Now, it's funny because I actually exited somewhat early because if I remember correctly, didn't we just start coming down soon after again? I know we chopped. So I wasn't that mad at my exit because it was lunchtime. We chopped. Now, we typically will stay cash in the lunch hour, especially if it's chopped. And then we look for movement at what time? 1 p.m. 1 p.m. is when we look to get back involved in the market typically. So this was annoying because, and I like to look at 1250, by the way. I tell my mentees that I like to start going back to the charts around 1250. It's funny because this move started at 12.49. So when I'm looking at the chart, I'm like, dang, price is dumping. I had no entry. My options traders, you see this entry up in here? Shout out my options people. I had taken swing calls on QQQ. When I got in futures, so my re-entries on futures shorts, I took swing. I said swing calls. I meant to say swing puts if I said that. I took swing puts, people, my bad. I took swing puts on QQQ while I entered sells on NASDAQ, you feel me? And so I'm already in this play and it's options. So to be honest, even this retracement, and there's supposed to be swing trades, right? It's a swing trade. So I'm obviously still in my swings throughout this whole movement. And when we broke down, guess what? I'm still in my swings. So futures, I didn't get a re-entry. So futures, I'm cashed. Futures, I'm cash. Options, people, I'm still printing everything Gucci. Here we are. I'm obviously in some pretty nice profit being in this whole move. Now here, look at the 5 minute. This is where I took a loss. And what did I say? Ride a trend until it's not showing you is that in that direction no more. If we're bearish, this is a highly probable area for price to reject on. What I'm annoyed at when I reviewed this was I think I was looking at this chart a little bit sloppily because I didn't realize that we initially had rejected here and it didn't generate lower lows. So coming back into it already decreases the probability. So I'm kind of annoyed at myself for not noticing that we had already came into this area. But nonetheless, I tried to enter. I just mixed up the play. What am I thinking? I already think it'll play lower than that. Let me think for a second. It might be this one then. I think it's this one, my fault. Wait a second, 750. No. It was that. My bad, y'all. It was this. I'm just thinking about the wrong play. This is when I tried. This one I took the loss. I was still in the play. So actually, real life, actually, we got in up here. We still was holding down here. This is where I took my loss at. My fault. I knew it was the same. It's this area. It's just that. Cool. So like I said, we had already rejected that. So I don't like the fact that we're coming back to it over here. I should have noticed this wick. This wick I should have noticed, but it's cool. Whatever. So we back in it. I entered shorts. Thank God I ain't doing it on futures. I did it on options with light size, and my stop loss is above. And I was already wary about it when we we're in the upper half of it. I was already wary, but for a different reason, I was cool with price being in this upper half. My mentees know why. If I zoom out, my mentees in here would know why. I'm cool with price being up here with it. That's why my stop loss mentees was just above it. And then I got stopped out. So I took a loss there. But guess what? If you think about it, this move, you know, the up move, the down move, guess what? When you take plays with a good risk to reward, you'll be net profitable, my people. So even though we have 3 wins on the day and 1 loss, it's a super green day. And that's eventually how the day ended. But I wanted to kind of review, like, you know, I had to kind of rush through it a little bit. I just wanted to kind of review for y'all, you know, decisions and like how we kind of got to those plays on Friday. You know, how to trade like a trending day like that. You really, if you kind of just look at it, your bearish tools hold until you're not bearish no more. So even when the drop off starts, first of all, this sweep here that I caught the high of the day on, imagine I would have held this the whole day. That's crazy, but whatever. So, you know, just think about it. Prices, it didn't even come to this. So this got left open, perfect. It's still, there's nothing even rejected here. Okay, cool, we reject this fair value gap, rejecting the OB, rejecting the continuation OB. Bit chop, it's really just chopping in the total bar, but nonetheless, nothing bullish is being validated. Feel me? Nothing bullish. So this is an OB right here. It still held it. I know it chopped, but it ended up holding it, running down, rejected the 5 minute bearish fair value gap, made lower lows, and then all of a sudden, when it's ready, when it's time to go bullish, guess what stops working? This is also sloppy on my end. Now that I'm looking at my loss, that's why it's good to look back at price action. I should have noticed that once we ended up closing back above this, price was showing bullish sentiment. And so I could have said, yo, the move is over because we making bullish for value gaps. They getting respected and all that. See, look at this. Respected. Everything good. All the bullish stuff was getting validated. So price is screaming at you, yo, we not really bearish no more. So you need to chill on taking shorts. Only thing that I'm cool with is you have to go bullish to even get to a bearish POI in the first place. But I could have waited for more confirmation that we're ready to use it. So if you really peep, what was my confirmation that it was time to go bearish? Price didn't do nothing bearish yet. Now, some of y'all might not know what I mean. So let's talk about confirmation. Let's say you would have got, I would have got here. Where are my lines of defense? Where are my lines of defense? My lines of defense would be, is price gonna hold this? Is price gonna hold that? All right, if it holds this, obviously we're just gonna keep going higher. So why would I take puts? Copy. Other than that, this red candle should hold price. If this red candle don't hold price, we going down for sure. But ultimately, definitely this and this red candle, those are the two spots that I will hope hold price. Obviously, this one worked out, the top one. So why the heck was I going short in here? I went short in this red candle. Why? You know what I'm saying? What I'm doing, I went short right in this red candle. Why? I had no confirmation. That's why I ended up taking a loss. So wait for confirmation is the thing to take from that. But overall, we net profitable on that. Now, I'm about to close this up. One thing I want to say real quick is I'm gonna quiz y'all for a second. I want to ask y'all one question. If y'all still here with me, I need y'all to answer this question in the chat. I need y'all to answer this question in the chat. I'm gonna put two charts up in here. Put two things up in here like this. All right. Put two things up in here like this and see where y'all at with it. My bad. I didn't mean to end it right there. Hold on. I'm gonna keep going. All right. I'm gonna test y'all in here. I'm gonna see where y'all knowledge is at. Sorry this came out so funky. I didn't mean for it to come out like that, but I want to see where y'all knowledge is at. So that's the first one. I'm gonna say this. This here is the swing high. That's the swing high for you. And then we got the swing low. Okay, so price starts off like that. It starts off bearishly. You're gonna tell me in the chat, you will tell me if price is, this is a bullish chart or is this a bearish chart? I want to hit for that one, and then I'm gonna draw another one while y'all conceptualize that. Okay, so you got that, and then this is gonna be. So definitely look at it carefully. Make sure y'all know y'all answers. My bad, I'm blocking y'all. Low, and then. All right, we're gonna do number one first. Number one first, the one on the top first. Actually, I'll just do this so y'all don't get distracted. Is this a bullish chart or a bearish chart? Okay, a bullish chart or a bearish chart? Talk to me. Is that a bullish chart or a bearish chart? I'm seeing 4 different answers in the chat so far. We closing on this. We closing on this right here. seen a lot of people say bears. I'm seeing one person say bullish. I've seen two people say bullish. Okay, we get some variety now. I'm gonna reveal the answers after. I want to see what y'all thinking. Talk to me. I'm seeing bearish in the chat. Okay. All right. Heard y'all. Let's go to the other one. So most people said bearish. A couple people said bullish. Talk to me on this one. Is this a bullish chart or a bearish chart? We started off bullish, obviously, right? We moved higher first. We started off bullish. So is this a bullish or bearish chart? So I got one bearish, one bullish. I got two bullish, three bullish. Okay. Most people saying bullish on this one. Interesting. Okay. Dang, everybody agreeing. Interesting. Okay. So how about this? How about this? If you don't know, and that's why you're not answering, I'm assuming that's why not everybody's answering, because some of y'all might just not know, and that's okay. I'm gonna reveal it. I see somebody saying both bearish. Heard it. Bull for number 2 and use bearish for number 1. Copy. Heard that. Well, I think it's time to reveal it. Beautiful people in the room. Hey, it's time to reveal it. It's time to reveal it. This, everyone, they're both bearish. Both charts were bearish. They were both bearish. Shout out to people that got them both right. And even if you didn't get them both right, shout out to you for participating, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. We're here to get better. It's not about being right. It's about putting that time in, and that's what y'all doing. So what I want to say is, if you struggle with it or you don't know the logic behind why they're both bearish, or even if you got them right, you low-key guessed, then I think you will serve well in the masterclass that I'm about to provide for y'all right now. So I'm gonna be doing a masterclass next Saturday, or really the Saturday coming up, right? The Saturday coming up, and it's gonna be really about this type of structure. And let me put this in the chat first. I'm also put it in the Discord, of course, y'all know that, but I'm gonna be doing this masterclass right here. I'm gonna do this masterclass right there. I just put that link in the chat. And first of all, let me provide y'all a discount code. Like, come on, y'all should know that. Y'all, it's the family here. Bag Talk 30. Bag Talk 30 to give 30% off. Of course. So the reason I say that is because this is the market structure that I think everybody should start off learning smart money with. If you're gonna learn smart money, this is what you will start with. You know what I mean? Some of y'all already been doing smart money and you know this type of market structure. That's why you might have looked at it and said, oh, that's easy. These are both bearish charts. That's good. I think everybody should start here. I start my mentees off with this as well. Now, I don't use this market structure no more. The market structure I use, to me, is a lot more precise, a lot better, and just like, I think it's better than this market structure personally. How do I know my market structure though? Because I knew this. I would never get to the market structure I learned now without thoroughly understanding this. I could do this type of market structure like with my eyes closed, you feel me? So I want to make sure that y'all all start off here as well. There's a reason that in my mentorship, I start with making sure they understand this like the back of their hand, you feel me? So I'm doing that masterclass for people who don't really understand how to say whether a chart is bullish or bearish. And even if you could do it with these lines, once we get to these candles up here, they be like, whoa, hold on, I don't know what we doing. We bullish, bearish, both. Like, you know, do you understand the difference between external and internal structure, things of that nature? And once again, things like these are like taught highly incorrectly on YouTube. So I really think that this masterclass will serve y'all. Y'all should know anytime I'm in a room, I'm gonna be giving ridiculous value that is well worth, you know, it's worth well over the amount that's charged. So y'all can check the masterclass out. I put the link in the chat. It's that's the code for 30% off. And if you do know this market structure, and some of y'all may trade order blocks, I'm gonna actually be doing a masterclass on order blocks the following Saturday, because I want to give gems on that too. And one thing I'll say is, just like I said, a lot of things are incorrectly told on YouTube. Y'all might have watched videos on order blocks and learned about order blocks. Any of my mentees could tell y'all right now, like, there's just things you're gonna learn from my mentorship or anything that I'm doing that you're not gonna hear in your standard video. I'm just gonna say that right now. That's just facts, because I watch them same videos. That's how I know. And I be watching like, yo, these people don't even know about this, and that, or they're not giving people the situation where this occurs, but that doesn't. It's those little specifics. That's what I tend to teach in my stuff. So, I'll be teaching that. And I didn't realize I had paused my screen for that long. I wonder if I was showing y'all what I was saying. What I was saying is, y'all might understand the lines, but y'all might not understand how to get structure when we look at candles. I didn't realize my screen was still paused. So, we're gonna talk about both. That's for Saturday. The following Saturday, I'll be doing a masterclass on order blocks, and so I'll put that link in the chat. Once again, these will both be in the Discord. I'm gonna put that link in the chat as well. So I have an order blocks masterclass I'm gonna be running the following Saturday. All right, so that's coming to the chat right now. Same discount code, BAG1230. BAG1230. All right, that's the code. No, that's just the code for the masterclass. You can get 30% off. BAG1230. You get 30% off each masterclass. All right, so the first one is going to tell you about, you're going to learn all about that structure. Especially if you're new to SMC, you definitely want to make sure you check that out, because I wouldn't even teach SMC to anybody unless they thoroughly understood that type of structure. Because once you understand that, later in the future, when I do the masterclass on how to understand like the more advanced version of that structure and everything about how I get market direction and everything like that, yeah, y'all not gonna understand that class unless you go until you do this first master class. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all gonna be lost. So you have to understand this first. So that's why I'll make sure I'm doing this one first. And then the following Saturday, once again, is order blocks. So if you know about this structure, that's cool. I know some of y'all in here, y'all already know about external, internal, all that stuff. Cool. Mess with the order block class and future classes, of course. All right. Zoom user, I'm dead. Nah, I thought you were serious. I was like, free? I was like, free. But yeah, that's all she wrote. I'm gonna put all them things in the Discord regardless. I appreciate y'all time. I'm about to probably head to that baby shower and that. So yeah, definitely gonna drop them in the Discord ASAP. Definitely drop in Discord. Okay, so hopefully y'all enjoyed the Zoom, and I'm gonna get this link going. I'm gonna get this recording up as soon as possible too. Okay. Yeah, you're very welcome. Very, very welcome. Yeah, I appreciate y'all time. Real talk. And my mentees, by the way, y'all don't ever have to join a masterclass. Mentees, y'all know y'all already get this stuff. Okay. You're welcome, Ryan. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. No problem. Just glad you was here. But all right, we out of here. Oh, no problem. Got you.